What is this thing we call memory? A memory is the ability our minds have to encode, store, and most importantly, recall new information. So, how do you think accessing our stored memory actually works? And how accurate do you think your memories are? Do you think it's like a filing cabinet where you can pull out a perfectly intact memory whenever you try to remember it? What if I told you you were wrong? Have you noticed that each time you remember one specific memory, you remember it differently? Sometimes you remember most parts of that memory, and other times maybe not much at all. Our memories couldn't possibly be easily reproduced like a file. They're actually reconstructed, which explains how one particular memory may not be remembered the same way every time you try to remember it. Let's see why. Each different time you are remembering a particular memory, the brain quite literally goes through multiple different neuronal routes to achieve that ideal memory. Researchers have called this the multiple memory system, which represents the variety of routes the neurons travel. Let's take a look closer. Some pathways have been constantly used to recreate that memory, some have faint footprints of being a road less traveled to that memory, and some of these routes even await development. Whichever route your brain decides to take during recall of a particular memory, the neuronal connections are picking up and collecting information as they reconstruct that ideal memory. And yes, even false information gets picked up along the way. These multiple and varying pathways leave openings for putting together a false memory. We may create errors by adding or making up information that didn't even take place when that memory was being made, but may have been from a different experience. Take a look at this. Say you witness an event involving a speeding purple bus running a stop sign on a sunny day. As you attempt to remember this event later, you may come up with an altered event. At one instance, you may remember that the purple bus wasn't actually speeding at all, or you may later remember the bus ran a stop light rather than a stop sign, or maybe you discounted the weather altogether, or maybe you remembered that bus as green rather than purple. Though these examples of reconstructive memory are clearly exaggerated, they do depict how our brains reconstruct our memories and how they are not always accurate every time we think of them.